Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, July 28th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with AEW Collision, which aired live on TNT from Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas. In the main event, Pac defeated Lio Rush. The M&M Connection, previously known as Maximum Male Models in WWE, made their AEW in-ring debut with a loss to FTR. In the opening match, Orange Cassidy pinned Johnny TV. Johnny and Taya Valkyrie tried to attack Cassidy after the match until Willow Nightingale made the save.
And a big big win, but
a bad leg by the looks of it. You don't trust Johnny TV and Taya Valkyrie.
Clip from behind. Taya Valkyrie in to get the licks in.
Oh, Orange Cassidy's tag team partner.
It's Willow Nightingale.
They won the battle for the booty titles. The booty came back to get involved in this.
In other results, Hologram pinned the Beast Mortos. Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta beat Brian Cage and Lee Moriarty in Top Flight in a three-way match. Thunder Rosa beat Mia World by submission, and the Conglomeration defeated the Premier Athletes in a trios match. Following Collision, AEW Battle of the Belts 11 also aired live on TNT. In the main event, Dustin Rhodes teamed with Ross and Marshall Von Erich to win the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team title from the Undisputed Kingdom.
The winners of this match and new Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Champions, the team of the Natural, Dustin Rhodes, and the Von Erich.
I am so happy for not only the Von Erich family, but for the Natural Dustin Rhodes to finally win a title here in AEW Ring of Honor. And the celebration, well-deserved, goes on in the ring, Ian.
Incredible history made. I can count on one hand the amount of times I felt this in my heart. Dustin Rhodes standing tall with the Von Erich. As two legendary families unite, the sum is greater than the whole here tonight.
The win marked Rhodes' first championship since holding the WWE Tag Team title with his brother Cody 10 years ago. The three matches this year involving Dustin, Ross, and Marshall have been the first times that members of the Rhodes and the Von Erich families had teamed together since Dusty Rhodes teamed with David Von Erich and Harley Race against Stan Hansen, Terry Funk, and Dory Funk Jr. in Tampa in June of 1982. In the opening match, AEW World Women's Champion Toni Storm defeated Taya Valkyrie in a non-title eliminator match. Also on the show, Willow Nightingale retained the CMLL World Women's Championship against Deonna Purrazzo. Taya Valkyrie attempted to interfere on behalf of Purrazzo, but was prevented by Thunder Rosa. Turning to Japan, WWE wrapped up their three-day Japanese tour yesterday with a second night inside Tokyo's Sumo Hall. In the main event, Cody Rhodes held on to the undisputed WWE title in a triple threat match against AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. WWE Women's Champion Bayley also retained her title, turning back the challenge of Meiko Satomura. Satomura announced at a press conference on Saturday that she would be retiring in April 2025 after 30 years in the ring. Other title matches saw Damian Priest retain the World Heavyweight title over Jey Uso, Women's World Champion Liv Morgan beat Kairi Sane, and the New Day defeated World Tag Team Champions Finn Balor and JD McDonough by disqualification. Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio got involved in the tag title match, which led into a six-man that resulted in Rey and the New Day defeating Dominic, Balor, and McDonough. In other results, Dakota Kai and Io Sky defeated Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, Gunther beat LA Knight, and the team of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reunited for the night with a win over Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. New Japan Pro Wrestling ran Day 5 of the 2024 G1 Climax tournament on Saturday, with 5 A-block matches taking place at the Sun Messi Kagawa in Takamatsu. Callum Newman upset Shingo Takagi, Sonata beat Gabe Kidd, Shota Umino defeated the Great Okan, Zack Sabre Jr. topped Jake Lee, and Evil knocked off Tetsuya Naito. Day 6 of the tournament takes place today in Fukuoka. Stardom also ran yesterday at the Shadare Gato Kingdom in Sapporo. Main matches saw Natsupoi defeat Saori Anou to become the new Wonder of Stardom champion, and Rina retained the Future of Stardom title with a win over Rana Yagami. The company also announced that AEW wrestler Anna Jay would be a part of the company's annual 5-Star Grand Prix tournament taking place throughout the month of August. Ice Ribbon's Risa Sera was also announced as participating. And in news from outside the ring, Larry Shreve, best known as Abdullah the Butcher, has been hospitalized according to a report yesterday from Mike Johnson. Shreve is reportedly dealing with an intestinal issue at a Georgia medical facility. The severity of his condition is not yet known. And in more unfortunate news, veteran journeyman wrestler Pete Sanchez passed away yesterday morning, as was first reported by Bill Apter. With a career spanning more than 25 years, Sanchez is best remembered for spending the vast majority of his career as a valued and regular enhancement talent in the Northeast. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, Sanchez first broke into the wrestling business as a teenager in 1959, appearing in the New York and New Jersey area for Vince McMahon Sr.'s Capitol Wrestling. He would remain a fixture of Capitol Wrestling and later Worldwide Wrestling Federation cards for a dozen years through 1971, then returned for another extended period from 1975 through 1979. Sanchez put over all the biggest stars to come through the WWF, and it was during that second run that he had what may be his best remembered match, facing Ric Flair in 1976 in Flair's Madison Square Garden debut. Although Sanchez rarely received any kind of push in the WWF, he did form a tag team with his fellow journeyman Manny Soto in the mid-70s, known as the Flying Tigers, even receiving a title shot at the Garden against the Valiant Brothers for the WWF World Tag Team Championship. In addition to his extensive time in the Northeast, Sanchez ventured outside of the territory to places like Central States, the Maritime, Stampede, the Amarillo Territory, the NWF, World Class, and Jim Crockett Promotions, sometimes competing under the name Gino Caruso. Although he never held a singles title, he did manage to hold several tag team titles, including 2 runs as the Western States Tag Team Champion with Gary Young in Amarillo in 1979 and 1980, and a brief 1973 reign as the Stampede International Tag Team Champion with Bill Cody. His first championship came before his 20th birthday in 1962, when he teamed with Carlos Milano to defeat Bob Orton Sr. and the Great Scott for the American Tag Team title in Al Haff's Midwest Wrestling Association. Sanchez had one last run as an enhancement wrestler in the WWF during the beginning of the company's national expansion from 1982 to 1984, and finished his wrestling career the following year working dates for Pro Wrestling USA. Pete Sanchez was 81 years old. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.